Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Brine, Indiana State Police Public Information Officer at the Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, you can visit them at www.indianasfinest.com. You will recognize this face sitting next to me today, and I'm so honored and proud to have him on the show. Retired from the Indiana State Police and finally settling into a new gig as the Communications Director of the Indiana Department of Corrections.
Very good.
So you retired and went to prison.
I retired and went to prison. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. I hadn't thought about it that way. No, I retired June 14th of this year.
Yeah. Had
a long 2-day retirement.
Wow.
And came to work with the Indiana Department of Correction on Monday, June 17th.
Yeah.
And the folks there have been so very welcoming, and they've helped the transition to go very, very smooth.
Yeah.
And I hope they're happy they haven't fired me. So that's a good sign. Now, after this show airs, I'll come back and let you know if things are still going good.
Wow.
But no, great folks there and a good team. They're interested in people's success, not only the people they employ, but the people that are there involuntarily,
Right.
all of the offenders that have been incarcerated. So it's good to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. And speaking of employment, that is why you're here, is the Indiana Department of Correction is hiring. Probably almost always hiring, but right now you're really looking for some people.
We are on a hiring binge. We are, it just started really December 1st. We're 1 week into December now, as you and I are talking about this. And what they're doing specifically is they have a hiring bonus of $350 for people that start working, that apply and are working before February 29th. Hard to believe it's a leap year next year.
Wow.
So there's a short window that people can come in and make an application and go through the process. We are looking for correctional officers primarily. We also have openings for people in maintenance and a number of other opportunities within the Department of Correction. And we're really concentrating on several facilities. Many of them are right here in central Indianapolis, greater Indianapolis area. Yeah. We have positions at the Correctional Industrial Facility, which is up in Pendleton. Also at the Indiana State Prison. I think people that don't know, that's in the northern part of the state in Michigan City.
Okay.
We have opportunities in the Miami Correctional Facility, which is closest city you would think of there would be Peru. Also, a lot of opportunities in the Pendleton area. We've got opportunities at the Pendleton Correctional Facility, at the Pendleton Juvenile Facility, and we also have opportunities in Putnamville, so just a little bit west of Indianapolis. And for people in the northern part, south of the state prison, we also have opportunities in Westville. And if we have time, I can talk about when interviews are being held.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual hiring process, because it starts with an application, right? You got to apply first.
It starts with the application. You go to your favorite search engine, just click, type in Indiana Department of Correction. It'll bring you there. Follow the links for career opportunities to be able to apply online. You've got to be 18 years of age or older. Okay. No felony arrests. Or if something has been expunged, if you had an errant occurrence, 10 years ago, and you're a different person now than you were then. So don't let that stop you if that's your particular case. Right. And again, 18 years of age or older, and the opportunities are there.
It seems like a lot of times when you're searching for a job, one of the first things you look at is the pay. How much am I going to make?
Sure.
But there's so much more to a job within IDOC and in any state position that includes security and benefits and things like that. So talk about some things that may be included with.
Sure. You're looking at a total benefit package because, as you said, there's more than just the salary, and people are going to want to know what's the starting salary. I'll just talk about correctional officers because I have that information. But the starting salary there is $31,200. But on top of that, you have full health benefits, so major medical, vision, dental, not just for yourself, but also for your spouse if you're married. Also for any children that you have. Health benefits, that's been a big topic of discussion for
Right.
people for a long time.
Yeah.
And beyond that, you also have the opportunity to start a retirement plan. You can save money through a number of variety of ways to think about your future. People starting out their careers that are in their early 20s, or somebody starting out at 18, 19 years of age,
Yeah.
retirement seems so far away.
Yeah.
And it seemed far away to me, and so far away that when I could retire, I didn't stay retired. So, and if you enjoy what you're doing, it makes it a lot simpler. And that's another aspect of it, John, is the number of people that I've met in the short time I've been here now, just about 6 months, that they talk about the impact that they make with the offenders that are in the different facilities, that recognize they made a mistake, they've got to pay their debt to society, and there are so many opportunities within the prison environment to get an education, be it a GED, or to move on and get a higher education and to get job training. And I'm not talking about job training for simple jobs. I'm talking about job training that when you get out, you can be coming into $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year positions.
So what about an age limit? Is there an age, a maximum age for IDOC?
Yeah, you ask good questions, and a question that I don't have the answer to.
Okay.
But
I bet they could find that on the website.
They could find that on the website, and I'm going to go on a limb, and I don't believe there is a maximum age. But I imagine you've got to be able to be up and on your feet for a period of time. It's not somebody that I would think that is 70 years old would want to start a career as a correctional officer. But unlike the state police that I'm very familiar with, maximum age of 39, no, I know that we will have people that come into the position that are well into their 40s or 50s, people that are starting second careers.
Okay. And this hiring process, we said, starts with an application. I'm sure there's an interview. Is there testing? Is there physical testing? What other things are involved?
It goes with the application. All that information primarily is online. It's usually pretty expedited. The primary thing is, are you over 18? No criminal history issues, and that your references check out.
Yep. Okay. Now, I'm sure, just like other big corporations, agencies, is although you're hiring in at an entry level, it probably doesn't take long with a little bit of aspiration to start moving up a little.
No, there are opportunities to advance. We are a paramilitary organization, much like the state police. From correction officer, you have sergeant positions, supervisory, that comes with a pay raise. You also have opportunities to lieutenant, captains, and each facility typically has a major that is the overall person in charge of the correctional officers. So yes, excellent point. There is opportunity for advancement.
You know, and I think just like law enforcement, state police, we all are struggling right now because the applications will come in, but getting the people to follow up sometimes. And so there's a disconnect there. So what advice do you have to folks that maybe a little apprehensive, like, hey, I need a good job, but gosh, I never really thought about working at a prison. What can you tell them about it?
Well, I would tell you that the first thing that people think of is, ooh, this sounds scary. And as any employer does and the Department of Correction does, there is a training academy process. I don't have the details of the length, but in that they provide the training and information just like a state police or a city police academy.
And is that paid training?
That is paid training to the best of my knowledge. God, you're showing just how ill-prepared I was for this interview. I believe that is covered. It should be.
Yeah.
And as you get that training, you move forward with that. They equip you to be able to handle an offender that if they become disruptive or they try to do something to cause harm to themselves or to cause harm to somebody else, you have all the tools necessary. One correctional officer I spoke to, I asked him if they had thought about a career in law enforcement, and the answer really surprised me, but then I thought about it. They said, as a police officer, I have to worry about potentially being shot or something happening. There are no weapons in this facility.
Yeah.
I can't get shot. Now, somebody might hit me or they might take a lunch tray and slap me upside the head, but I'm not going to be shot. And my backup is very, very fast.
And for the most part, you know who you're dealing with. I mean, for the most part, you have personalities associated with all these folks you're working with,
Yes.
because you're essentially working with the same people day in and day out. So you get to know them and their personality.
And that you bring an important aspect. That brings up some of the training as well, because yes, you do see the same people, and depending upon the facility, different facilities house different level offenders, people that are going to be there for decades. Some facilities, people are there just for several years, but you do develop relationships, but not the kind of relationship where it's a friend.
Yeah.
Because many people in a correctional environment, offenders, they will work to try to manipulate, to try and get somebody to do something they shouldn't necessarily do, an employee, a correctional employee. And so there's a lot of training to that too. Much like we think about pedophiles grooming people so that they can take advantage of them. Offenders will try to groom correctional officers so that they can take advantage. And if they get them to do something that's against the rules, then they have them caught.
Sure.
Because if you get caught trafficking
Now you get into a
something,
blackmail situation.
yeah, exactly, and trafficking something as simple as a cigarette, that's grounds to be terminated.
Yeah, and criminally charged, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, again, the Indiana Department of Corrections is hiring. If you apply and are hired in the month of December, am I right? And
December, January, all you have to do is your application. We're in the first week of December. If you get your application in, you go through the process, and you're hired before February 29th, you're eligible for that $350 bonus. You can go on the website and you can see where all of the facilities are located. And very briefly, and I know people aren't going to be able to write this down, so I'll just go through it very quickly. But the different facilities have different hiring hours. You can walk in without an appointment. That's a key point.
Wow.
You can walk in and they'll walk you through the whole process to apply on the spot. The Correctional Industrial Facility, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 in the afternoon. At the State Prison up in Michigan City, you're welcome to stop in any Monday, Wednesday, or Friday from 9 to noon. At the Miami Correctional Facility, they are talking to people on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. The Pendleton Correctional Facility and also the Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility, they're right next to each other. Monday through Friday, 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Putnamville is also Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And finally, the Westville Correctional Facility, south of the state prison by a fair amount, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon.
Now Westville is in northern Indiana, because I
Yes.
often confuse that with Westfield, and that's not the case. So
Good
Westville is
point.
in northern Indiana.
We're not talking about Westfield. We
Yeah.
are talking about Westville, Ville.
Right. So anyway, look, if you're looking out, you're curious about it. Maybe you don't know if it's something you want to do. What kind of opportunities do you have for people just to get information?
From what you see on the website, you can find the phone numbers. If you are reluctant about stopping in, you can make a phone call and call the facility and say, I'd like to speak to the person in HR there and ask your questions. And they will they'll know the answers to questions I didn't.
Sure. And this is full-time positions with benefits from day one, right? You don't have to work. I mean, I don't want to speak too out of line, but from day one, not only are you going to get a paycheck, but you're going to be starting to be enrolled in those benefits as well.
You sign on with your benefits and for
Vacation
yourself, for your
time,
family. You start building the paid vacation.
Right.
Holidays off. I believe, top of my head, there are 13 paid state holidays.
Right. So that happens if that happens to be one of your days you work, you get a little extra pay for that day.
So you could have somebody that they could, if they heard the program today, they run out and file their application. They, in theory, could be hired by December 20th.
There you go.
Get their $350 bonus, a little Christmas spending money, and have Christmas off and New Year's.
There you go.
Yeah,
So anyway, the Indiana Department of Corrections is hiring. My guest has been Dave Burston, the Chief Communications Director. Is that right?
Chief Communications Officer for the
Indiana
Indiana Department of
Corrections. Right. And I know titles aren't very important to him, but I know that he's doing a great job. We sure miss him at the Indiana State Police, but we're happy for his new career. So thank you for your guest. We didn't get a chance to introduce the man behind the camera, newly appointed to IDOC.
We did.
Mr. Greg Dunn, formerly from a local news station and now is working for the Department of Corrections as your videographer.
And we are so happy to have him. Smile for us, Greg. He's smiling now.
He's smiling, and thank you very much, Greg.